Hey friends, hey fam, hey peeps, how's it going? Hope you're all well in life and in this crazy world. There's a lot been going on right now in the world, so I hope everyone's well, safe, doing okay. I mean that. Um, Today we are talking about trends in sports. Now, if you know me, then I've been trying to kind of not touch on this, although I really desperately wanted to because it's something I'm really passionate about. Um, but it's not getting any better, really. So here we are. All right. So let's start with, well, way back when. The first time I ever heard about this was probably more than 10 years ago. And this was a trans lady, Fallon Fox, who was a martial artist, and she was in the UFC. So she actually got in the ring, fought a chick, she beat her, she cracked her skull. At the time, she had been on hormones for she'd been on hormones. So her testosterone level was whatever the entry level is. And yep, she was allowed to fight, and that was that. Uh, all right, so I'm going to show you a little clip of that fight. That's one. There's about five examples. I'm just going to quickly go through of what's been happening and why this is just ridiculous and really dangerous for women's safety in sports. For women's voices, for their efforts, their achievements. Yeah, all right. So let's.
Making her way to the cage, please welcome Fallon Fox.
How do I expect a fight to end? In a bloodbath. One thing about my opponent, Erica Newsom, she's a pretty strong fighter. I don't think she has a technique to beat me, so I'm just going to take it to her over and over again until I win this fight.
Let's welcome her opponent to the cage, Erica Newsom.
I feel really well. I've been training really hard for this opportunity for a long time.
And look at this girl. I mean,
physical specimen, man. Wow.
great shape. She's solid, she's tough, and she's ready to go. She doesn't want Fallon taking home that $20,000.
Good throws and reversals by both fighters.
These girls are getting right into it. Fox delivering the knees, and that's it. Fallon Fox. Holy cow. Game over.
Wow.
And a quick finish to our first women's $20,000 championship tournament fight.
Your winner by knockout, Fallon Queen Swords Fox.
How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah! And I want to tell everyone else, I'm coming in this tournament. Every woman in this tournament better look out. I'm freaking coming.
Well, you heard it here, everybody. Fallon Fox coming for you in the ladies tournament. Advancing to the next round. Let's give it up one more time for Fallon Fox!
The Hawaiian, the Eliminator, Elimele McFarland.
Bellator MMA tonight from Pechanga Resort and...
Okay, so that was the fight there. Oh, by the way, that voice at the end, that wasn't her real voice. They've like edited that for comedy sake, but and for drama. But it is what it is. This poor chick, Erica, shout out to her. I really feel for her because I know I've been in this position before. There's not that many opportunities for female fighters, first of all, to start off with, especially small, when you're on the lower weight divisions. There is now, but still compared to men, there's obviously not as many women in the sport. So to be able to get like good competitors and given those opportunities, they're far and few between, and to be wasted for this poor chick to have to go and fight a man now, this is disgusting. It's just wrong. as you know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other female fighters who do it. She's just done it in another way. But I used to have to give up weight all the time. And when I first started competing and fighting, there was just no one. I mean, in Australia for boxing, in Sydney, I was like, there was two of us, two registered. Couldn't fight in Sydney, had to go in another state to fight. But there was two registered. We weren't in the same weight division. I think she was my first fight as well, that we had in Canberra a long time ago. But I had to give her weight. She'd had 10 fights or something, like 10 fights, 10 fights and 10 wins, I think. Or it could have been 10 fights and 9 wins or something like that. She had a good record though. She was good. She was fast. She was good. Yeah. I lost her on points that fight, but you know, the reach, the everything, the speed, the power. The power wasn't too much, but definitely the experience I had to give away, and the weight, just to be able to be in the game and have some experience and get the fights and be able to pressure test my art. So they've been practicing like every other person. So for her to have to do this now, it's one, there was no one stepping up and stopping it from happening. So there was no laws in the body or whatever right now, currently then, or even till today, to stop this from happening, and protecting her. I mean, she can speak up all she wants and say this is unfair, but she can just be replaced as well by someone else who wants the opportunity. And when you're a fighter, you just take the fights. It's because that's what you do, right? But it's not, that situation is not fair. So we're going to move, there's another one that happened, okay? So then nothing really came about from that later on. I think she did lose some fights to some women, but she did also win more. Then quiet for a little while. And I guess I haven't really been in the watching sports, watching fights anymore since I couldn't train, and I'm not doing it myself. I just got a little bit salty, and so I stopped watching it. And when I was, you know, it was my obsession for many, many years of my adult life. It was my livelihood. So the second one came, I think it was in 2021. Now, this is also in MMA. I'm going to do a separate video just for the commentary on this video because it's longer, and I don't actually want to like just show highlights of it. The commentary from the video is so gross, and it's just backwards and disgusting. So I'll give my take on that in another video. But basically, this is a lady named Alana. Hang on a second. See if I can bring up the article. All right, so here we have this lovely person. This is Miss Alana McLaughlin and her big win. All right, so that's the person. This used to be an ex-SAS officer. That's her now. Joined the army when she's 20. She's 38 or something now. She won the fight against the French lady, Celine Provost, by submission, 3 minutes in, and was very proud about that win and the rest of it. It was a Celine did really well. I'll talk about that when I make a separate video about it. But no, she was a more technical fighter, definitely. Her technique was much better. Had it been a more even fight, who knows? Celine could definitely have won. She was leading the fight. She was putting the pressure. Old mate here just overpowered her, really. And yeah, it is what it is. So I wouldn't see this as a proud moment in gender history and sporting history as they want to make it out to be. The commentary on this is so gross, but I will go over that. So yeah, basically that's old mate. Alana goes on to talk about being a transphobic and stuff like that. If you don't like it, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. That shows that. She hasn't had another fight since then, which is good. So next, moving on from that, we've got Canada's got all the good stuff happening always. I love Canada. We're not far behind Canada, so guys, please. Okay, female weightlifting. This just really shows how important it is to have these separations and these different categories of weight, age, skill, gender. This person just made a joke of sports in Canada, really. Canadian sport policy slammed after trans woman shattered female weightlifting record. Now, the person's called Anne Andres, and before the competition, she wrote that she will win by a good margin. This is due to my training ethic, but people widely misattribute it to my 20-year history of being a man, right? That's her there. Look, I know the story already. I'm not going to really read into it too much, I can tell you. It was definitely not a joyful day for Canadians. Canadian weightlifters, I should say. Not only she broke two records, she got first place in 2 records and broke Canadian records, and she's also broken unofficial world records. And people were like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, "Oh, no, dude, it's not." Not only has she broken the records, she's broken them by 200 kilos. 200 kilos. All right, I don't know about you. I can't even lift 200 kilos. I mean, those women that can lift 200, now you've beaten it by another 200. You've beaten the actual record. This is unimaginable. There's no woman that's ever going to get those scores, and that's fine because we're women. We're not trying to beat the men's scores. But this lovely person had the audacity to also mention and point out that ask the question, why is women's weightlifting so bad? And to that I say, do you mean just in Canada, or is that around the world? Either way, it won't make a difference if you're comparing it to you, because you're a dude. Spent 20 years as a man, transitioned 18 years ago or something, right? I think it must be 38 now. Let me double check. No, 40, sorry. 40, because it's in the Masters. So, only started weightlifting 7 years ago, and yeah. Also stated here, this is just crazy, man. All right, I can't find it there, but it does say, basically, she doesn't even care about the win. She's just happy that she's got good friends and people that love her in the sport and let her live her best life the way she wants to live it. And she's just happy to do that thing. And I say to you, madam, get the fuck out. And the other girls that are there, the real women that have been training really hard for this, let them have their spot. If this doesn't even mean anything to you, but it obviously does for these people in the competition. They're not in the competition for no reason. And I think that whatever she's won should be removed from the records, and her trophy should be given back. So that's as much as I'm going to give onto Miss Anne. But she's a bit dirty on women. But she wants to be one, and she wants to compete with them as one. I don't know. Right, so next one. Oh, this is another lovely Canada story. When I first heard this story, I actually thought it was a joke. Because when I saw the pictures that matched and I saw the video as well, I was like, nah, this is a guy that's trolling, which had actually happened in the wrestling. So in Canada, in the wrestling, a guy, he was competing like last week as a male, and then he just said, I identify as a woman, and he competed in the women, smashed all the records, and he was just trying to show how easy it is and what a joke it is. And he didn't even want those records. He was not actually competing. This was a demonstration. So, and big ups to this guy, like, I respect that. And it is just that easy. So in Canada, they've got a gender affirming system. Gender oh shit, what's the word? I will get it. Basically, whatever you say you are, that's what you are, and then people take you from off that. You don't have to do any transition. You don't have to do any medical transition. You just have to say you're that sex, and that's how you'll be treated in society. So, yeah, whatever you declare you are, that's what you are, which is absolute bullshit, because you're going to see in this that this dude is a dude. He just looks like a straight man. I'm like, bro, I know some real strong women that play rugby, big girls. It's a woman. I know some butch chicks as well, you know. This is just a man in a woman's sport. The problem with this one as well is not only is this dude, look, that's him, he's a straight up man, okay? I know the story, so I'm not going to read it to you, but I'll tell you. There's females here from the opposite team are complaining about how hard they got hit. They've never felt that before. They've never felt like they're being hit by a bus or a truck when they're on the field. That says something. They're saying it anonymously as well, because they're scared of the backlash and hurting people's feelings, and just having everyone's eyes on you. It's a horrible situation to be in when you're the only one and you just want to play your sport, and everyone's like under some mental health hypnosis where you're all living this life like it's normal. It's not. So this guy, he got three of the players off the field from injuries. He was, what did they call it? Like pile tackling him, I don't know. Dropping them. Oh, there's a word that someone used here. Hang on, let me grab that because I'm not that great. Dump tackled. Sorry. All right. So he was dump tackling them. Hey, look, come on, guys. Seriously. Right. I did see another video, and he was like, apparently his wife was there sticking up for him, and she was shouting all this crap and crying about it. Honestly, like, come on, be realistic. There's no way I'll be sending my daughter out to play rugby against this dude who's clearly a man. Not only is this guy was the MVP for the top level in the men's division, you know, last week or however long it was, not that long, and you know, he's done nothing except say that he's a woman to go and play in this team. Disgusting. This is disgusting. The way that people are sticking up for it and be like, oh yeah, no, everyone's got the right to have it, play in sports. Like, wake up, guys. What's it going to take for someone to be completely concussed, to be permanently injured, to have some sort of brain injury or you know, or anything else, a back injury, be paralyzed, anything, of having this extra force? Because this is contact the whole time. You are going force against force, you know. You're trying to get away from it, but that's what the game is. Someone's going to get really, really hurt, and when it's going to be a woman in a wheelchair, and then you're going to say, oh no, we should have done something about this. I don't know. Oh, the only other one. Alright. Disclaimer. No disclaimers today. Look. One example of this is my number one, hands down, best fighter in the world, in my opinion, is Miss Lucia Riker. If you don't know who she is, well, you're going to find out right now. Okay, she impeccable. Her record. I won't say she's the best female fighter in the world. I'm going to say that she's the best fighter in the world. My opinion, from what I like, what I see, all of that. Classy, strong, just so technical, so skilled, determined, just amazing. You guys might have seen her in $1 Million Baby. I think she was like the baddie that fought the main character. Anyway, beautiful lady. She's from the Netherlands. She came from a very famous gym out there. She was a kickboxer. She had 36-0 fight record with like 22 knockouts, I think it was. Oh, I should check that, right. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty, look, it's around there, okay? 36 fights, kickboxing, 35 wins, and she had 1 draw. Now, her boxing record, she ended up going over to the States. She was in Thailand and Europe for years. And her boxing record's immaculate as well. She fought some amazing competitors. She was training with Manuel Stewart. Anyway, let me not get into all but her full history. What I want to say is this: her boxing career, 16-0, right, 14 knockouts. She's a Tyson. She's a powerhouse. She's a pit bull. She's a freak, mate. Beautiful, so beautiful to watch. Like, honestly, I can't say enough good things about her. Now, in saying that, the only fight it was a demonstration, they're saying, but it was a fight. The only fight she's ever lost was to a man. She fought a man way back when in the day, and I was like, well, maybe she had no one else to fight, or I don't know what's going on at the time. Yeah. She was the best of the best, and she fought a guy who was kind of unknown. He wasn't unknown, and I don't want to. It's going to discredit him to say that he was a no one, because he'd had 13 fights, I think, and or maybe 14 fights and 11 knockouts or something, you know, or 11 wins. He'd had a decent record. I'm not sure who he fought, but he was good. He just didn't have any titles like she did, and he wasn't famous or well known like she was. So they had the fight. First round, yep, went alright. And you know, anyone who's boxed, she was on other shows as well. She packs a punch like nobody else. Like, the girl can hit. Yeah, I would not. Every dude's like, nah. But as a guy that's her weight and her size and trained, and in this, I mean, this is the first time you see her getting rocked. He dropped her. They called it in the second round. Actually, wait, I'm going to show you that fight. Even though I hate it, because it's not how I want you to see her. She's like, you're going to see her in all her glory. So but this moment should never have happened anyway. She wanted to do it, and I get it too, because, you know, when you fight and stuff, you really do want to push your skills to the highest level, and you'll take on any challenge, you know. You're always just looking for that next thing. I don't condone it, and I don't endorse it, but I understand it, and I'm not against it. No, it happened. This was a long time ago. So let me bring up that fight, and then we're probably going to leave it there for today until the next one. All right, one minute. Try and figure out what the fuck I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. So this is the fight. It goes for a few minutes. I've actually watched it for a long time, but yeah. Both. Come on, girl. So, you know what? I might even do a series of videos on like my favorite female fighters. I don't think they're getting the spotlight that they should get. I know there's a lot of there's way more fighters, newer ones which I don't know about. I need to go back and start looking into that, because and give some credits and shout outs where due, and put some spotlight on some positive things, not just all of this. So I might do that, because that sounds fun to me, and I just get to watch all my old favorite fights. Yeah, and share them with people. So that'll be good. All right, that's for another day. Here we go.
Uniek voor het eerst in de Europese geschiedenis dat een vrouw het in de ring in deze keiharde sport al voor mannen gaat opnemen tegen een man. Tegen Sunshine Jaidi, Lady Tyson, Lucia Rijkers. Tijdschrift in deze unieke partij Jan van Ooyen.
Additional the micro for 5 very respect to your master. But if you're doing it, it's like, yeah. If you do a full one around the whole ring. But I love that box in and gosh, it's respect for the practice. But this is a bad bitch, seriously. There's been in here, which is no shit, Jim. So this guy, I know that she talk at the time like, oh, she got beaten by a bum or whatever. It's not a bum. He's a decent fighter. She has my gosh, my brains. Can't remember numbers. I will say, I reckon the mat's slippery. It happens, just wet stuff. It might be like big The material of the mat had happened to be a times before, and it's a bit annoying. Usually on the parts where there's like these were the good days, I'm telling you. But, he's feeling them too. Look at this. Oh, I'm upset. I don't want to see my girl like that. She's too perfect. She's just never been in this life and having to like this dude. It's never fair, you know? Oof. Nah, mate, nah. I mean, I'm not, no hate to him. He's just doing a fight. He's a fighter as well, right? So, but I mean, that won't be his proudest moment, that's for sure, you know. But you got to play with the right, you know. That's fine. Thank you. They don't want to win, so they don't get it back. And you're right. You get in that ring. Yeah. Ready? Alright. It is what it is. So anyway, that I just wanted to show that video of my girl, Lucia. One second. Yeah, so I'm thinking we'll leave it at that for today. I guess that explains, you know, quite a bit of what's going on and just how ridiculous it is and how unfair it is, and it really does need to be addressed sooner than later. it's going to turn women away from even doing sports. We had so much to fight. I mean, I know back when I was training and stuff, um, we had to go. I couldn't even register or get fights in New South Wales. The head of the New South Wales Amateur Boxing Association at the time was Arthur Tunstall. Everybody knows he was completely against women in boxing, women in sports. Women should be in the kitchen. He would sabotage because you'd have to go through them, even though you're not fighting in, or wasn't fighting in the state, or have to go interstate to have a fight. He would sabotage them all the time, you know, and just not do the paperwork or something else or whatever it may be. So there was that. Holly, a friend and training partner, a sparring partner. I used to idolize her. I used to look up to her and watch her training, and you know, I learnt so much of her. She's such a beautiful person as well. Also, someone who's probably doesn't get enough credit as due, because at that time we didn't have too many female world champions in Australia, and she was a triple world champion at one stage, and she fought the best of the best with boxing. She fought Sharon Anyos twice, who was the only one to get a world, I think she was WBA, Women's Boxing Association champion for a while. They had a significant weight difference as well. Again, see, even a world champion, Holly, for her to keep fighting, and she would have to take any fight that came her way. All her boxing fights, I'm pretty sure, except for maybe one against Pina in Queensland, they could have been a similar size. But she gave away weight for every single fight like that as well. She lobbied in Parliament, went to Parliament 3 times for the right to be able to earn a living in her state. A world champion didn't have the same equal rights. So not only the lack of opponents and the lack of opportunities and all of the blockages that you get along the way from the institutions that are supposed to be helping you, you're pretty much on your own, right? So you're fighting in gyms where guys don't want to be fighting with you. The people running the shows, they don't want to put you on the fights. They don't want to help you out there. There's no really that many girls to fight. You really have to push your way and work extra hard, harder than the men. And those type of things need to be known, because behind the scenes there is a lot that goes on just to be able to exist doing this thing, and to be washed out like that. Like, we will do the sacrifice. We'll sacrifice the weight. We'll sacrifice this. We'll sacrifice all those things. Fighting women. Going against women. Going against your own team. Look, a lot of girls who do fight and the rest of it, they may, some are quite girly and feminine, and others are quite masculine, tomboys. Like, you know, I'm a bit of a tomboy like that as well. But we're women. All of us are women, born biologically women. Doesn't matter who we sleep with, what our sexuality is, our DNA and our bodies have been our women, a female. That's it. End of story. There's no more here. There's no more to talk about. So yeah, until the next one, I guess, and I'll hopefully do some happier videos as well, and I'll do a commentary of that fight. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think, guys? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you think that trans people should be allowed to play in sports in the opposite gender from what they were born? Do you think we should have separate categories for trans people? How do you think the world should move forward? I think it should go back to where it was, personally. But this is a discussion. This is not just a rant. So I need feedback. Give me some. All right, people. If you stuck around till now, thank you. You know, I'm not a YouTuber or anything. I'm just a person trying to get this message out and heard by whoever is willing to listen for my little small group. Yeah, I'm not on social media. I'm not that type of person, so I don't know who this will reach or who's going to get it. But if it's even just 1 or 2 people that starts a discussion, please just start talking to your friends and family. You don't have to always look into things. You don't have to go further, but it's something that's happening, and everyone's going to have an opinion on it. So what's yours? All right. I'll talk to you later. Hope you're all well. And yeah. Oh, fucking hell. No. Okay, here we go. So, this is the fight. It goes for a few minutes. Feeling them too. Oh, I'm upset. I don't want to see my girl like that. She's too perfect. She just never has been in this life and has to like this dude. It's never fair, you know? Oof. Nah, mate, nah. I mean, I'm not, no hate to him. He's just doing a fight. He's a fighter as well, right? So, but I mean, that won't be his proudest moment. Ready? Alright. It is what it is. So, anyway, I just wanted to show that video of my girl, Lucia. 1 second. So... All right, so we're actually going to leave it there. Yes. Did I have anything else to say? Not really. What do you guys reckon? What do you think about the state of women's sports at the moment? Do you think it's fair for men to be able to play and compete in women's sports? Do you think there should be another category? How do you think it should be dealt with? Yeah, I'd like to know your thoughts. I don't want this to be rants. I'd rather than be discussion. So for that, I need feedback. Talk to me. Give me something, a little something. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making some happier videos with some spotlighting some talents and amazing people, female fighters. And I'm going to do the commentary for this other fight because I think it's quite important. There's just like a lot of details that there's so much wrong that went on in that fight that yeah, it still baffles my mind, honestly. I think that's it for now. So catch ya when I catch ya. Have a good day. Bye. No, I'm back. I did want to say one thing. So this is something to consider, which I really want to point out, because women, we're not sitting here, we're not whinging, especially athletes and you know, sportswomen. We're just getting the job done, right? We're just you're talking about high energy people with a lot of drive, with a lot of will, and we're not talking about lazy people or anything like that. What we have to go through, women, not in every sport, but, you know, I don't want to say, oh, misogyny or anything like that, because there's difficulties for everybody and everything, right? It has a lot of areas in, have been male-dominated, especially in martial arts and in fighting. I mean, it's just not that many women who want to do it, to be fair. And those who did want to do it have been doing it for all these years, have had to go through a lot to get there. I don't really know anyone who's had a really straight, easy path. Some people have been handed better fights than others, or might have, you know, some other a promoter that's their trainer or something, or, you know, your dad runs this department, whatever it may be. There's always that. But in general, for example, when I was fighting. So the head of the boxing amateur boxing association was Arthur Tunstall at the time, and he's notoriously known. He does not think that women belong in boxing or in the ring anyway, and so technically we had to register. All the fights went through New South Wales. We weren't allowed to fight in New South Wales. It was illegal. We had to fight in another state, but it had to be registered in New South Wales. Now, this little mofo, he used to love sabotaging everything, right? He'd go out of his way. He would just be uncontactable, not sign the documents. This something needs to be approved here, or that needs to go through, and things just never happened. He just made life. He let you know his stance all the time, and that is what it is. He's one guy, but he had a lot of power at the time in that position, which did affect any female fighters, and it deterred. But there was none really. There wasn't a lot. There was more in martial arts, but in my martial art, I couldn't compete. I could compete in jiu-jitsu. I could compete in kickboxing or Thai boxing or boxing, but sorry, not boxing. I could do kickboxing and Muay Thai in New South Wales, just not boxing. So yeah, it's great, isn't it? And amateur boxing at that, right? So we had to have a big fight with the people organising everything. You're never really that welcome in gyms, male boxing gyms. I was at Monday's gym, Redfern. At any time, there was like 2 girls there. If that, I was usually the only one there. Other girls would come in at different times, but Holly was one who I would like to point out, definitely someone who's not been given enough credit. She also was one. There wasn't not many world champion females at the time. We had a couple in Australia, but they weren't current. And she was triple world champion. She also fought like Sharon Daniels twice, who's was the WBA women's boxer, had the belt for boxing. She gave up a lot of weight for every single boxing fight as well, just to keep fighting and just to have someone to fight. She was the top of her game here. Like, there wasn't that much more that she could really do. So she went over to boxing. She could get kickboxing fights. She'd do that. But I mean, like, guys can fight in boxing. They could fight every 2 weeks, every week if they wanted to. But lucky to fight once a year. So I had more fights cancelled than I actually fought, and at each fight, to get that fight or to for it to actually happen was a bigger fight than the fight itself, just against everyone. To the point where I moved overseas to continue my career, or give myself any possible options to have a fair go and be able to pressure test my art in real time with other people that have been doing the same thing, willing to do that. So all I wanted to say in that is that, also, it was illegal at the time in New South Wales. So Holly, being a triple world champ at the time, it was lobbied 3 times in Parliament for the right to earn a living in our state. It wasn't affecting me. I was amateur, that she's pro, because I'm not making money off it. Although people, the boys are making money. Boys are making a couple $100 each fight. I'm paying over $1,000 to go interstate to fight, some girl who's had all her fights already and the only one willing to fight me. And so it was a whole ordeal. Guys are getting paid and we had to pay and had to leave. And because they were robbing her of the right to earn a living in her state. Everywhere else it was legal, and they accepted our registration and that we were fighters, just not allowed to fight in the state. Like, come on. So there was like a lot of things going on, and it still isn't. It's still very much it's male dominated. I'm going to say that the majority of the males that I dealt with were lovely to me, really good. You do have to prove yourself like anything in a lot of jobs and things, and like, who's this? Who are you? Once you've been there for more than 5 minutes and you're not going anywhere, people will start to give you a bit of time of day. But, you're just that one in the background for ages, and they're like, whatever, a chick. No one really takes you seriously. And that's fine, because I'm not there to impress anyone. But it's just one of those added layers. So just say in this sport in particular, excuse me, you do have a lot of people against you from the start. Like, you got your good trainer, but fighting it's an individual's thing. It's just you in there. You're gonna have to learn to get a backbone way early if you can't deal with all of that's happening, which we shouldn't have to though. Don't get me wrong, but it is character building and it does help in some ways for sure. I'm not sure if I did mention about Leah Thomas, who is a swimmer in America, and I think I did, but that video didn't record and I might not have reset it. So anyway, I'll quickly just talk about that. So Leah Thomas was a swimmer, a mediocre male swimmer. I can't remember what rank he was, up until about 2019, and then decided to transition and went over to the women's division about a year or two later, and then started smashing it, just like killing it, like #1 in everything. I think he had gotten like a 1 or something before, but was not in the top of the male division in any way, shape, or form. So the problem with this is swimming is a team. Okay, so it's not just you rocking up and doing your thing. You've got a whole team. You're representing a team, and this is on the university level. So this university, because they have to include, trans and everything. You also have to include them in the change room. So this has got a double story, which I haven't mentioned. I forgot to bring up, which is something in itself as well, which is a very important story to. It's a very important topic that we need to discuss, just as much as the rest of this. So you've got a fully grown male that's gone through puberty, all of the rest, cock and balls, in the ladies' change rooms, just like, hey girls, just walking around and, cock out. Like, it's not like all of us women are walking around naked all the time in the change rooms, don't get me wrong. But when we going from changing from one clothes to the next, or if we feel like we want to be, in our underwear for a little bit, we can do that because that's our space to do that. If you've got this dude in there, come on, man. For real? How you gonna do us like that? How are you going to do women like that? There was, not to mention, okay, the women complained about this, and the complaints were like, basically, they were pretty much told, these women who had been doing this their whole life, this is their sports, training hard. Respect goes for all athletes, but my heart goes even more for the females, because we're not seen, we don't get as much kudos, we don't get as much attention, facilities, all of those things, it's just not as popular or interesting, I guess, for some people to watch. So some of these the ladies, they complained, and they were told basically, like, if you don't like it, you don't have to swim, right? And technically they only need like one person to have their team, and that can be Leah Thomas, the male. And because he had all the high scores, they were happy to just pretty much keep him instead. The second thing is, some of these ladies in the swim team have experienced sexual assault, or have had sexual traumatic events happen to them, and they're now having to get ready, prepare themselves for their training, or for their big match or whatever it is, and literally be naked with a man, a fully grown, cock and balls, 6 foot tall male that went through puberty. It's got a male body, it's got long hair, and living as a female, it's male genetically. And in this space, people are walking, and he's been known to be walking around naked, just which is fine, because you can do that in the change room. It's not that us women, we just walk around naked all the time. I know people would love to think that, but that's not exactly what happens. But for that moment when you do want to change between, you get your sweaty stuff off, put your dry stuff on, or vice versa, change into whatever it is, that space, you shouldn't have to be thinking twice about, there's a dude in here that's wrong. So what are you going to do? You're going to kick out all the women from the women's changing rooms so that you can make this man feel comfortable, so he can come in and have like a quick perv and do all that. Now, whether I think that that's happening or not, that this is for an example, because that can easily happen. If this can happen, that can happen. The two can go. So that's why I can do a whole nother a whole other video on this, and autogynephilia, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But so that's another thing that's a hot topic at the moment in America. She has actually been banned now, which is good. They've banned it in the Olympics, but this was because university is like another level, and they've got their own, sort of Olympic body. It's whatever it is. And yeah, so that's a small win, I guess. But they have to go through a lot. One of the ladies from the forefront of that was Riley Gaines. Amazing chick. She's one of the swimmers, actually. She's been really vocal for women's rights all the way through. So good on you, Riley. Thank you. Need more of the Rileys around to like really stand up and say no to this nonsense. The other thing is, I just wanted to put a little bit of light also on. So, are you going to tell all women now that their changing rooms, their safe space? Everyone uses this word now. It should be a space for women anyway. There should never be a man in that place or environment where women are vulnerable. They deserve privacy. They deserve respect. So that goes out the window now to cater to old mate and his mental health issues. And he didn't feel bad about making people feel uncomfortable or anything like that. It's just like, yep, working around, bang, 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 slanging, That's not cool, man. I don't know. How would you feel if say, a younger group? Because right now, a lot of the bigger bodies in some sports are cracking down on this stuff. So, like, yeah, Leah's been banned from swimming now, and university and that. But the school systems now, they're their own governing body. Another one again. So they're not enforcing that, and the level where you actually do you want your teenage kids or younger to have to be sharing those spaces and being naked and vulnerable around the opposite sex, because that's exactly what it is. And then taking into consideration, the issues that some of these ladies have had in their sexual trauma, this is disgusting. Who's looking after the women and how they feel? We all have to bow down to this mental health disorder. I don't think that's right. I don't. All right, now I'm done. We good. Laters.